George Santos was let out on bail over the recent charges that he's facing, and some people have wondered who co-signed that bail. It was a lot of money. So who exactly was helping to supply that? Well, we don't know. And if George Santos has his way, we'll never know, because according to his lawyer, he would rather go to jail than have to reveal who it was that co-signed this bail. And that is weird. Not one of the weirdest things George Santos has ever done. He's a weird guy, but it is weird. The lawyer says, my client would rather surrender to pretrial detainment than subject these suretors, I believe the people who insure the bail, to what will inevitably come. Attorney Joseph Burry urged a judge Monday to reject a request by news outlets wanting to find out who is guaranteeing the loan, suggesting that they could, quote, suffer great distress, including possible job losses and even physical harm if they are named publicly. Look, I'll buy part of that. The idea that we're gonna get Joe Schmo and Jilly Billy, they're the two that guaranteed it, and people are gonna go and attack them seems hard to believe, but could they potentially lose their jobs? Well, it would be very embarrassing. Why are you backing up a $500,000 bond on a lying grifter like George Santos? So look, I'm not saying that I do not understand to some extent why they would want privacy on that, but I also understand why some other people would want to know. There has been so much economic fraud and corruption when it comes to George Santos that huge sums of money being spread around this way sort of begs the question, why? Why would you put so much money on the line? Is there potentially other money that you might be concerned about? We have no guarantee of any of this, but I can sort of understand why people would be concerned. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, this is America. Money doesn't move around out of the goodness of people's hearts. There's a deals. I'm speculating here. I don't have advanced knowledge, of course, but I am speculating that based on how you've seen Santos involve some of his staffers, involve some of the people around him, being willing to throw his associates under the bus for these different things, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those associates thought they could get some return on investment for doing all the stuff for George Santos. And now they're in a weird position where it's like, ooh, okay. Looks like you're going down. We don't want to go down with the skiff or whatever we're doing with a callback, right? I don't want to go down with the shift. I didn't mean to even do that. Ship. So
Schiff so far is not facing charges, but we'll see.
Wait till Trump gets in office again, and we'll see what happens. But no, this is That's just true. Another fun wrinkle in the Santos debacle. I want to see where it goes. I think there's apparently a part here where those who put up his bond could be forced to pay the full $500,000 amount if Santos just decides to not show up in court on June 30th. Yeah. So it's gonna be a fun month. Can't wait to see what happens June 30th. A lot of nice conclusions.
And by the way, to be clear, in some cases, you have to pay a portion of the bond when you initially do it. They so far haven't had to pay anything, but as Dan correctly points out, they could end up having to pay the full amount if he just suddenly like runs off to the Yukon or something, which is not impossible.
George Santos wants to fight in Ukraine.
Give him a chance, honestly. Somebody's got to help repair that dam. Honestly, let him fight. That's a big issue right there. Santos is due back in court on June 30th. He could face up to 20 years in prison if convicted of the top charges. And I will say that George Santos has been a very wily character, but he made a big mistake. When he found out that charges could be coming towards him, he really should have declared that he was running for the presidency, because I've heard that that's a get out of jail free card. But yeah, as of right now, he could be in trouble. I doubt he'll face 20 years in prison, but a few years, that could hurt, and that could be coming relatively soon. June 30th is not that far away. We'll soon know, hopefully, what the end to this bizarre tale is.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.